We've announced 5 different countries that are working with us. We have a similar number that are not announced, and then we have 20 plus other active discussions underway. So we've announced 5 different countries that are working with us. We have a similar number that are not announced, and then we have 20 plus other active discussions underway. So
okay, so there you go, guys. You have over 5 countries announced, 5 that have not been announced, and conversations with at least 20 more countries that Ripple and XRP have been talking to. So after going deep into what has been going on with Chainlink, I decided to dive in and take a look at what's going on with the other major projects like XRP and Ripple that have been obviously getting a massive amount of adoption. This is huge, right? With 5 countries, 5 more discussions, central banks, all of this going on. So I have a bag of XRP. I've had a bag for a long time. I think right now it's worth something between $75,000 to $100,000. So my continued quest, if you guys have been following along on this channel, is to see, because I am ultra bullish on Chainlink right now. I think the upside is absolutely enormous. So I'm reevaluating all of my large bags and all the blue chips, my categories of blue chips, high risk, high reward, the low risk, high reward kind of plays, the more ultra risky and potentially higher reward. So I want to find out, and you guys can come along with me, is XRP bag going to stay, or are we going to convert it into Link? So let's dive into this video. I think you're going to find it incredibly useful. I learned a lot when diving into this, and I've been in the space for 12 years, guys. If you're new to the channel, my name is Kyle Chassé. Make sure you like the video. This is going to be packed full of alpha, and you guys are not going to want to miss this. And you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the video, hit the bell notification, because you want to catch these videos when they go out, because timing in this market is absolutely everything. Okay, let's go back and look at the price of XRP right now at a $51 billion fully diluted valuation compared to that of Chainlink's, which is 7.5. So it's about 7x the fully diluted valuation of Link. Now, what's interesting too is we both have a fairly similar amount of circulating supply, 55% for Chainlink and 53.3% for Ripple. So we have potential inflation coming in on both sides, guys. So this is something that, both have the same argument of potential inflation, and we'll get into, on the last video, we discussed a bit about how Chainlink can offset that, and Ripple can actually do that in a similar way as well, but that's not the point of the video. The point of the video is to really go into XRP and talk about all of the adoptions from Ripple, how big and how much potential it has, and then, of course, to make a decision if I think it's worth going all in or selling it in lieu of Link. So you just heard that, this announcement, but also check this out. So Ripple partners reach an all-time high of over 120 institutions. Among the notable institutions, they have joined forces with Ripple. Are Santander, American Express, Standard Chartered, and SBI Holdings, right? So these are some massive, massive institutions that have already partnered with Ripple. So what is Ripple, guys? What is Ripple? So Ripple is the company behind XRP, and it's a payment settlement system and currency exchange network that can process transactions globally. Ripple was designed from the very beginning to essentially be a replacement for SWIFT, right? SWIFT is the settlement network that happens between banks, or otherwise replace the settlement layer between major financial institutions. It serves as a trusted agent between 2 parties in a transaction, as a network can quickly confirm the exchange went through properly. Ripple can facilitate exchanges for a variety of fiat currencies and cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, to name one example. So, and here, the standard fee, this is important too, the standard fee to conduct transactions on Ripple is set to 0.0001 XRP, which is minimal compared to the large fees charged by banks for conducting cross-border payments. Okay, so it wants to disrupt SWIFT. So let's use that as a standard going forward. Now, I know there's other products out there that Ripple offers and is bringing to their suite of products that will add more value than just simply disrupting SWIFT. But let's go back to Chainlink for a minute and Sergey Nazarov, and he's saying that banks don't want to replace existing infrastructure. They don't want to replace SWIFT, right? That's too much work for them. Is that true? Let's listen to Sergey.
The other great thing about CCIP is there is no chain. So a lot of the solutions that seek or want to create interoperability across capital markets and banks, what they're actually doing is they're injecting a chain in between banks, which will essentially act like settlement infrastructure. And banks do not need more settlement infrastructure in between them and their counterparties. It's just not something they're excited to do. A, there's a lot of settlement infrastructure already, and they're making their own chains for that purpose. And B, they kind of view it as a cost that they don't want or need. What they actually want is they want more usership, more liquidity.
So this is Sergey's argument, and I kind of feel like he is directly talking about Swift here. Without saying Swift, I feel like he's talking about Swift. What he's saying is that what the solutions are trying to do right now is inject their chain, Ripple XRP Ledger, in between the two institutions to make a more efficient settlement process. Now he's saying banks don't want that. They don't want to go from their existing settlement infrastructure. They want better ways to improve, and we'll get into how Swift might be improving in the future as well to potentially try to stop the disruption from Ripple from happening. But I don't know, and someone made a comment in my video from I think yesterday or the day before as well, saying that, pointing to this exact same comment from Sergey, saying that banks don't want new infrastructure. But I think that that point probably stands true for the biggest banks, right? Because as we learned in the Bankless interview, Swift isn't owned by anyone individually. It's actually somewhat like a decentralized network, and when it comes to the Constitution and governance and voting. So it's owned and controlled by all the banks that use it, and the banks that transfer the most value on it have the most voting rights, as well as they also get to keep the most amount of profit that Swift makes. So of course, if you're a big bank, you don't want to change that, right? You get all the control and you get all the revenue from it. But if you're part of the other, nearly 11,000 or 10,000 to 750 banks or whatever that use it, okay, you have less interest to want to stay with Swift and offer better competition. So if Swift takes, on average 3 to 5 days to send a transaction and costs on average 3 to 5%, why wouldn't you as a smaller bank want to use something like Ripple, which makes this, this opportunity for remittance, cross-border payments, much cheaper and much faster, and it gives you more profit. So if you can offer a better service for cheaper to your customers, I mean a way better service for, way cheaper, and you make more profit from that, why wouldn't you do that? That is exactly what Ripple and XRP Ledger offer. They're saying, hey, instead of you sending, like, let's say that you are sending money back to Mexico or Venezuela or Philippines, right? It normally costs on a bank transfer like $35 or whatever, or some percentage of what you're sending. So if I'm sending $100 to Mexico from America, I might be charged $10, right? Or $15, 10 or 15%. And there's some of that fee that goes to the actual transfer network, like Swift, and the bank gets to keep some money as well. But that fee is pretty high that's charged from Swift, and so the bank makes less profit, and the fee to the end user is extremely high. So what if instead they were using Ripple, for example, and the cost was only 0.0001 XRP, or negligible, almost nothing, that's the cost to the bank itself, but the bank can also charge, $5 on a $200 transaction. So you're talking exponentially cheaper, the money's there exponentially faster, and the bank makes more profit. This makes sense. So I'm not sure that I necessarily agree with Sergey. Of course, if they didn't want to have to do the infrastructure and the work to integrate, but if they can offer a better product to make more money, of course they're going to do it. So there is some gravity and grounds for what Ripple is doing here. Now, I really wanted to understand, guys, where is the use case for XRP, right? Where is use case for XRP? So I went to ChatGPT to help me have a dialogue so I can understand where does the value accrual and the demand for the XRP come from? Because if the use case for XRP, and this is the use case, guys, Bank A sends money to Bank B, and let's say they send $1 million. Bank A sends $1 million, it goes into the exchange, there's $1 million instantly bought of XRP, that's transferred to the Bank B on the XRP network in a matter of seconds, then that $1 million of XRP is sold for, let's say, Mexican pesos, right? And so you have, for a couple seconds, a buy order of $1 million of XRP and then immediately a sell order. So it's good temporarily for buy pressure, but immediately you have a sell. So I need to wrap my head around this. Where does that is an extremely fast velocity of money, right? And in token economics, to make the token worth a lot, we want a slow velocity of money. We want people to not change hands, to not transfer so quickly. We need it to be held by people. So I needed to understand this, and this is why I went to ChatGPT to help me understand. And guys, in this video, I know that there's going to be XRP community, the XRP army, and the Link Marines in here, guys, and I'm open to you chiming in on anything I'm missing, and there's going to be things at the end of this video that that I'm going to have questions on still, because I don't have the answer to everything yet. But I am going to go through here and give you a price prediction based on pure use case of disruption of SWIFT alone. This is what this ChatGPT thing gets into here, but that's not it, right? So this is exciting, guys. Let's keep watching and listening, and as we go on. So I said, does SWIFT transfer money between banks? Is it the actual rails? And so this I felt like it was important to understand what SWIFT is if XRP and Ripple is trying to disrupt it, right? So SWIFT does not actually transfer money between banks. Instead, it provides a standard secure messaging network, allowing banks to send and receive information about financial transactions in a consistent and reliable manner, right? So it's important to understand the inefficiencies here. So Bank A wants to send money to Bank B on behalf of the client. Bank A sends a SWIFT message to Bank B detailing the amount of money to be transferred, the accounts involved, and any other pertinent information. Bank B receives a message via SWIFT network, and upon verification, the process transfers locally. The actual transfer of money occurs through correspondent banking channels or the respective bank's internal systems, and not via SWIFT. In this context, SWIFT acts more as a messaging system rather than the rails on which the money moves. The rails are actually pathways of movements of money, are usually the correspondent banking channels, national payment systems, or real-time gross settlement systems, among others. However, it's worth noting that the role of SWIFT is crucial in global banking. The standardized messaging format and trust is garnered among financial institutions, making international transactions smoother and more reliable. Man, I am in the middle of a wine valley right now. It's almost super quiet. And right now, while making this video, out of all day, a helicopter flies directly over my head. Great. How ironic. So let's get into this. How does Ripple XRP plan to disrupt SWIFT? This is what I want to know, right? And this is interesting. ChatGPT gave me two different answers. I like this one. So Ripple aims to offer an alternative and more efficient solution for cross-border payments compared to the traditional SWIFT system. Here are some ways Ripple and its digital asset XRP plan to disrupt or improve upon the services offered by SWIFT. Speed. SWIFT international transactions via SWIFT can take several days, and due to the involvement of intermediary banks and need to comply with different countries' banking regulations. Ripple promises significantly faster transactions, often settling within seconds by using its technology. Cost. Transactions can be costly because of the fees imposed by intermediary banks for SWIFT. Ripple aims to minimize transaction costs. XRP, Ripple's native cryptocurrency, can be used to provide liquidity and facilitate real-time money transfers at lower cost. Transparency. SWIFT. The system lacks real-time tracking of transactions, and sometimes transactions can be delayed without much information on the whereabouts or the status of the money. Ripple offers real-time tracking of transactions and provides detailed information of the status of each transaction. Efficiency. SWIFT. The process involves manual intervention, multiple intermediaries, and is prone to errors and delays. Ripple proposes automated and streamlined processes, reducing the need for multiple intermediaries and minimizing errors. Liquidity. SWIFT requires pre-funded Nostro and Vostro accounts in multiple currencies, tying up capital. So making money is all about capital efficiency, right? And this is a big one for Ripple. It removes the need for all these pre-funded accounts in Nostro and Vostro from banks. Ripple XRP can act as a bridge currency, reducing the need for pre-funded accounts and freeing up capital. Technology. SWIFT is based on more traditional, albeit secure and robust messaging network, while Ripple utilizes blockchain technology and cryptocurrency to facilitate XRP to facilitate transactions. So Ripple solutions like XRapid, I think, are known as on-demand liquidity. I think it's now called Liquidity Hub. Leverage XRP for sourcing liquidity in cross-border transactions, aiming to eliminate delays and reduce cost. However, it's important to note that while Ripple aims to compete and improve upon SWIFT, the latter, aka SWIFT, is also evolving and working to enhance its systems for faster, more transparent, and efficient internal transactions, aka a la Chainlink and CCIP. One of the ways. I don't know what else they might be doing. Keep in mind that the information is up to date at 2022. So let's go back to discovering this journey here. So explain how the XRP is used as a bridge currency. Certainly, the concept of XRP as a bridge currency is central to one of Ripple's offerings known as on-demand liquidity. Now it's called, I think, Liquidity Hub. Here's how it works. Initiation of transfer. Suppose a bank in the United States wants to send money to a bank in Mexico. Instead of going through the traditional corresponding banking system, which can be slow and costly, the U.S. bank uses Ripple ODL service. The bank converts its UST to XRP, an exchange partnered with Ripple that offers ODL support. Once the UST is converted to XRP, the XRP is sent across XRP ledger. I told you guys about this. And conversion back to Mexico, for example, on the Mexican pesos at the local exchange. The pesos are sent to the receiving bank in Mexico, and the entire process is completed in minutes. In this scenario, XRP acts as a bridge between USD and the Mexican peso, instead of a direct fiat-to-fiat transfer, which might require pre-funded accounts in foreign countries, Nostro and Vostro accounts, and involve multiple intermediaries. The transaction uses XRP to streamline it and speed up the process. This has potential to reduce costs, as banks may not need to maintain as much capital in foreign accounts. So here's some of the benefits, right? Speeds up transfers, minimizes exchange fees, provides instant liquidity, and operates 24/7, which is great. You don't want the things to be closed. You can't send money because something's closed, right? That's ridiculous. That's old times. So here we go. Here's where it starts to get very, very interesting. Please elaborate on the last part where you say there must be enough liquidity in the markets. Do you mean that there must be enough market makers on these exchanges to make sure there is very deep liquidity, so even with huge value transfers, there's little to no slippage? And chat says, exactly, you've captured the essence of the point. When we talk about liquidity in the context of XRP being used as a bridge currency, it pertains to several key factors: market makers and depth. For XRP to function effectively as a bridge, there needs to be a market makers on the digital asset exchanges to ensure that there's enough buy and sell depth. This depth helps facilitating large transactions without causing significant price volatility, commonly referred to as slippage. See, this is important, right? So slippage is, and it explains it here, slippage is the difference between the expected price of a trade and the price at which a trade is actually executed. If there isn't enough liquidity, a large transaction can move the price significantly, leading to the transaction being executed at less favorable rates. This can undermine the major benefits of XRP as a bridge currency, cost savings. So, in order for this entire Ripple and XRP thing to work, there needs to be significant liquidity, and that needs to come from market makers so that when billions of dollars are transferred between Bank A and Bank B, that's $1 billion or $2 billion buy order and then a sell order seconds later. Now, that price of XRP better be damn near close to the same price it was bought as when it was sold. Otherwise, the bank might lose money on that transfer, and that you do not want that to happen. So there needs to be deep markets for this to work, and not only deep markets in one trading pair. You can't have just deep XRP and USD. You need XRP USD, XRP JPY, XRP MXN, and so on and so forth. Everywhere that you're trading, that you're sending, one currency, dollars to pesos, dollars to Japanese yen, dollars to euros. These all need to be deep, thick markets, and you need to have constant liquidity and price stability so that this can actually work. So here we go. Let's continue on. For ODL to be attractive to major institutions, it is vital that they can move large sums without their transactions significantly impacting the market price. If they were to experience high slippage, it would erode the benefits of faster or potentially cheaper transfers. Ripple has been aware of the challenge and has actively engaged in partnerships and initiatives to increase XRP liquidity and foster healthy ecosystems of market makers and institutional participants. I can tell you that if this whole thing works for Ripple and XRP, it will be absolutely one of the most liquid and stable coins in the market, right? So let's say in this whole example that I'm going through right now, we assume that Ripple eventually is successful at taking out, let's say in this extreme case, 100% of, and just completely disrupts SWIFT entirely, which may happen one day, but not anytime soon. But anyway, so I wanted to understand the incentives for market makers to provide these enormous amounts of liquidity to the markets. What I'm trying to figure out here is how the demand for XRP increases and effectively removes circulating supply, thus increasing the unit price of XRP. So what I want to understand is what is, it said before that XRP and Ripple are out there looking for partners to provide liquidity, the trading pairs, Euro and XRP, Mexican pesos and XRP, US dollars and XRP. So what are these market makers getting in exchange, right? They are getting they're making money on the spread and making profits. This is how market makers make money. Also, exchange rebates when someone does high volume and makes some markets. They get rebates from some of the fees they make from their traders, and there's increased demand for XRP. And so increased demand for XRP. If Ripple's solution, especially this on-demand liquidity, sees widespread adoption, the demand for XRP could increase as it's being used as a bridge currency. This increased demand could lead to a higher price for XRP. If market makers anticipate this price appreciation, they might be more incentivized to hold and provide liquidity for XRP. Decreased circulating supply. As you pointed out, Kyle, well done. If there is a significant demand for XRP, especially from financial institutions using on-demand liquidity, a portion of the circulating supply could be locked up during transfers. While these transfers are brief, yes, they're incredibly brief, just seconds, high frequency and volume could mean that at any given time, a significant amount of XRP is in transit. This reduced available supply, combined with high demand, can put upward pressure on the price. Speculation, of course, speculation, right? Like all cryptocurrency, speculation plays a big role. I wanted to move speculation out of this equation in this scenario because there's always speculation, right? Speculation is what drives NVIDIA up to a $1 trillion valuation. It's not the actual valuation of the company. It is the speculated value of the company, right? It is not based on real revenue. It is based on speculation. So speculation is important. And in this video, we don't cover speculation. We cover real value, real revenue, what it would look like, right, if Ripple did actually disrupt SWIFT. Okay, so now I said, I know that sometimes, hold on. I know that sometimes, ChatGPT is weird about predicting prices and things like that. So I said, let's play a game, an assumption game. I need you to help, I need your help to figure out the math here. Let's make an assumption that Ripple XRP was successful in taking 100% share of SWIFT. We know that SWIFT transfers between $2 to $5 trillion of value each day. How much XRP would need to be provided as liquidity in the markets to make sure that the amount of volume could be transferred in a fast and efficient manner that Ripple intends? Does this question make sense? If you need any clarity, blah, blah. Sure, I understand the question. You're essentially trying to gauge the amount of XRP liquidity that would be required to handle all SWIFT's daily volume if XRP were to replace it entirely. However, this is a complex and multifaceted question because the amount of XRP liquidity needed doesn't directly correlate to the daily volume on a one-to-one basis due to the rapid settlement time of XRP ledger. Here's a rough estimation based on a series of assumptions. The volume, let's take the upper limit in the worst case scenario, assuming $5 trillion of value daily. Settlement time. Transactions on the XRP ledger happen in about 3 to 5 seconds. There's 86,400 seconds in a day. Value in transit at any given time. If transactions settle in 5 seconds, then at any point in time, you'd potentially have 5 divided by 86,400, the daily volume in transit. So for 5 trillion, this would be $289.35 billion. This means that at any given moment, assuming the constant transfers throughout the day, there'd be about 289 billion worth of XRP in transit. XRP price. This is a significant variable. The higher the price of XRP, the fewer units you need to represent the same value. Okay, this doesn't matter, right? This doesn't matter. Market depth. So in reality, not all the XRP would need to be locked up or set aside. Market makers spread across various exchanges globally would be providing this liquidity. The depth of the order book at different price levels would determine how much XRP is needed for a smooth flow of such large volumes without causing significant price slippage. So, and then of course a buffer. They would have to add more because you always need a buffer in place. Given these considerations, the rough estimate of $289 billion worth of XRP at a constant price of $1, blah, 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 in transit does not mean that the exact amount locked and ready, but you'd require a significant portion of it available across various exchanges and quarters to ensure smooth transactions, especially during peak times. This is a simplified calculation and doesn't consider the many real-world complexities, but it should give you an idea of how one might approach the question. Okay, thanks, I said. So now we know that if it were to replace SWIFT entirely, that you would need at least $290 billion of XRP in action any given time, 24 hours a day, 367 days a week, right? So that would be pretty massive, right? Considering that the current valuation is 51 billion. So you would need about 6 times that amount at any given time in the market, and essentially new buy pressure, because probably all of this is speculation at this point, right? So that would be a significant buy pressure. It would be 6 times the current market cap in buy pressure if this thing was in full swing. Plus add speculation on top of that. We'll get into that in a bit. But again, this comes back. I wanted to do this exercise with you guys so you understand the value of XRP and what it does. And, okay, so, all right, so, okay, so I say, so continuing. Okay, thanks. Now, keeping the same, oh, there's a helicopter again. Go away. Okay, thanks. Now, keeping the same assumptions as above, we can make some more assumptions on what the price of XRP would be processing this kind of volume, setting aside speculation, but only based on the actual demand for Ripple to do its job. Okay, so determining the price of XRP solely based on transactional demand is challenging because price is influenced by various factors, including speculation, regulatory environment, overall crypto market sentiment, etc. However, if we try to isolate the impact of demand created by the transactional need, we can make rudimentary estimations. And this is what I tried to do also for the Chainlink video, guys, was I tried to make some assumptions based on actual demand and utility, not on speculation. So let's work with the figures we've established. Value in transit. As calculated earlier, assuming that constant transfers throughout the day, there would be about $290 billion worth of XRP in transit at any moment. XRP circulating supply. As of my last update, so this is different. So there was 47 billion tokens when ChatGPT was last updated. Today there's something like 53 billion. So you have higher circulating supply. So in this calculation, let's replace 50. So if it was done at the time of ChatGPT being updated, this would be the calculation for the price per XRP. So if XRP's only value was derived from its utility as a bridge currency, and if every XRP in circulation was actively being used for liquidity, which is a huge stretch in real world scenarios, highly not likely, then that value, actually I did the math already because I have to substitute 47 billion for 53 billion. That number would be $5.46 at the price of XRP. Now again, that gives you, now it's even less if you have all 100 billion in circulation, right? But in the current circulating supply, around $6 per token is what it comes out to, right? Which is a 16x from here. Pretty good. So this is looking like a good use case, a good strong use case. Now, of course, one asks the question: is it realistic that XRP disrupts all of Swift, and what other use cases does XRP have? And we get into that in just a bit. A few considerations. Not all XRP would be used. It's unrealistic to assume that every XRP token in circulation would be used for liquidity. Many are held by long-term holders in cold storage, lost wallets, or are just not in the market. Diverse liquidity pools, price buffers, other uses. And so other uses. So I asked, what are the other uses for XRP? So we'll get into more of this in the next video, guys. I really wanted to make this case for you, but it's other use cases that we will start looking at in the next video. Exactly what could we expect, in the medium to long term for the price of XRP? And this is where I need to make a decision for my own portfolio, right? Do I sell my bag of XRP into Link, or do I keep it in XRP, or do I even add to my bag? Guys, I'd love to hear your opinions, and if I'm missing anything or if there's any logic that I need to add, let me know. And also, if there's any other drivers of XRP that you think are going to add significant value to the token price in the future, let me know in the comments below. I'm really curious to know. But I asked, what are the other use cases for XRP token? Micropayments, remittances, web monetization, decentralized exchange, token issuance, smart contracts, lending and DeFi, spam prevention. Lending and DeFi was something that I thought was really interesting, and it could be a huge one, right? Because if the scenario becomes true, the price of Ripple will not fluctuate very much at all. It's going to have massive, massive, massive liquid markets, which means that even buy and sell orders of tens of millions of dollars wouldn't move the price of XRP. So it would become significantly adopted and very stable as far as price. This makes it really, really attractive to use in DeFi, extremely attractive to use in DeFi. So imagine all the TVL that could come in the buy pressure using this as a semi-stable coin in the DeFi world. That use case alone is huge, And in this video, we're not going to speculate the potential price impact of it. And then I was curious. I didn't know the answer to this, but like, are there validators in the XRP blockchain? Is it permissionless? Can anyone run a validator? The answer here, guys, is that essentially it's not really. So people can run a validator node, but you don't get rewarded in XRP. You just have to do it because you're bullish on XRP. It's predominantly ran by the XRP guys, and it's mostly centralized at this point. So there's no incentive. You don't stake your XRP. You don't get rewarded in XRP, and it just doesn't make any sense. Why would anyone run a validator? I don't understand. Okay, so some more similarities between Chainlink and XRP is just they're both going after real-world assets. Now, another thing that Ripple is really focusing on is central bank digital currencies and stablecoins. So in the next video too, I'm going to go deeper into this because we need to take all these things into consideration in order for this to be a fair and unbiased video on Link versus XRP. And I'm just putting these two in the same category, not because they're extremely similar, but because they're going after, they're both in the enterprise banking, real world, central banks, real world assets type of domain. And so I thought it would be interesting to do these together side by side to see, how they compare, how they contrast, and what one might be a better play from this current market cap. So there was a lot of also more adoption in Hong Kong, and you can see that the real world assets is really big, and also central bank digital currencies. This study came out that said that in the next 3 years, 80% plus of global finance leaders will likely begin using cryptocurrencies, CBDCs, or stablecoins in their business in the next 3 years. That's pretty massive, right? And then this guy from Ripple, James Willis, comes out and says there's going to be 3 different types of stablecoins: wholesale, which is going to be bank to bank. You're going to have retail, which is going to be what you and I are going to be using, but I won't be using central bank digital currencies, hopefully. And then you have one more, which is kind of like using DeFi or something like that. I forget. So now, after all of this, guys, something like DTCC, which you guys all know if you've been watching my Chainlink videos, they process more value. In fact, about $1 quadrillion more annually than Swift does. And their revenue isn't very large. Their revenue is only $2 billion a year for DTCC. So I'm just showing. So now you have to ask yourself, from a revenue perspective, and with XRP only charging 0.0001 XRP per transaction, which is the reason that people would want to use it because it's so cheap. Would that revenue play an impact on the token? And I also have to go, if you guys let me know in the comments below too, if you know what that revenue is being used for. Is it being burnt? Is it going back into the treasury? I'm curious, guys. I don't have an answer to this. And yeah, guys, I think that one more thing I want to bring up here too. Like, guys, there was some speculation. So there was this party for Ripple recently, and all the XRP army was there, and there was a lot of speculation that Ripple was going to make an announcement of them going public. Now, there was a lot of people who were saying that this is going to send the price of Ripple to the moon, or XRP to the moon. And I have to ask you guys, like you understand that, and this is one of the things that I don't jive well with here, right? And why, from a fundamental and an ethical and ethos value perspective, I am much more in favor of something like Chainlink. However, I understand that a lot of you guys watching this are really interested in how to make the most money possible, right? I've been fortunate enough to buy Bitcoin very, very early in 2012, and for me now it's more about building really cool stuff, watching the decentralized world grow, watching on-chain grow. But here in this article, it talks about the fact that that they're speculating what the valuation would be if Ripple shares hit 600, which is a 20x from the current valuation of the shares, and that this would somehow send the price of XRP to the moon. And the argument that they use here is, well, when Bitcoin goes up, the value of coin, right, Coinbase's shares go up because it's a Bitcoin business. And I don't know if it's a good way, because the thing is that Coinbase doesn't have a token, right? So I don't know if, and it's not correlated, right? The revenue that Ripple, the company, the centralized company makes does not go back into XRP, the token, at all, right? It's completely different, and people need to understand this, right? So I don't know why, in XRP Army, I'm sure you guys are watching this, and this is not a knock on you guys at all. In fact, I'm making this video because I'm very interested in XRP's growth and would love to hear your guys' opinion, but we have to understand that you as an XRP holder, nothing happens to you if Ripple goes public, other than the benefit of the company getting more cash. They're going to be selling their shares on the market, right, which gives them a cash injection. Now, hopefully what they would do with this, but I don't know why they have the incentive to do it, because Brad Garlinghouse and other guys own a bunch of equity, and so they want the equity to increase in value more than tokens maybe. But right now they're selling a bunch of tokens, right? There's only 55% circulating, so they sell 45% uncirculating, and they're selling that every single month to pay for research and development and growth and business development. Now, maybe the IPO gives them more cash injection where they can stop selling so many XRP tokens, just stop putting sell pressure on the price. Maybe that happens. I don't know. But there is no direct correlation, guys, to Ripple going public and XRP price. It might have some sort of speculative pump, but guys, it's completely different. And that's one of the things, my biggest criticisms about centralized companies having tokens. You have this big conflict of interest. Where does value accrual go, and how is it distributed? Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. That's been a long one today, but I hope this gives you a good understanding of Ripple. I sure learned more than I've seen in any other video about how it works, how the XRP token plays in the Ripple ecosystem, and why it could become extremely valuable in the future. Now, the question which I will answer for you guys in the next video, which not tomorrow, but either Thursday or Friday, I will make a video digging deeper into the value proposition of the XRP token, the other services that Ripple offers, and I will try to make an estimate for my own self of if I will be continuing to hold my XRP, if I'm going to sell it for Link, or if I'm going to add more to my XRP bag. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up today. My name is Kyle Chasse. I hope you liked the video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.